Hello everyone, it's me, number 10. We all know that tigers and lions are two of the most powerful animals in the world. But if we put them up against one another, who would win? Let's find out. Number 10. Size matters. The first thing that we have to consider when deciding who would win this battle is their size. Now, even though both these animals can vary in size depending on where they're from, on average, lions tend to be slightly bigger than tigers. This means that not only do they have longer bodies, but they're also taller and heavier. When it comes to fighting, this definitely puts them ahead. Not only does being bigger help the lion with its attacks, but its opponent will also have a harder time trying to hit the lion. Of course, this doesn't mean that the tiger won't stand a chance. As we all know, sometimes the smaller animal can take down a much bigger one, so don't count the tiger out just yet. Number 9. Bite force. Another important factor to look at here is their bite force. In other words, how hard can each of these animals bite? Well, it turns out that even when it comes to bite force, the lion takes the cake. Their bite can reach an astonishing 675 psi, which is enough to crush bone. On the other hand, the tiger's bite is a little weaker at around 1000 psi. So why should this matter? Well, the stronger bite means that when the lion bites down on the tiger, it could very well break its bones. If this happens, then the tiger will be unable to move and will probably end up losing the fight. However, even though the lion's bite is stronger, the tiger still has other ways of attacking the lion, such as going for the eyes or trying to suffocate it. So it's not game over just yet. Number 8. Claws. Next up, let's talk about their claws. After all, these are some of the sharpest weapons that these animals have. But which one has the sharper claws? Well, surprisingly, the tiger's claws are actually more dangerous. That's because they're longer, sharper, and thicker. And not only that, but they're also more flexible. This means that when the tiger swipes at the lion, it could easily dig its claws into the lion's skin and then yank itself closer to it. Then from there, it could go in for the kill. The lion, on the other hand, has shorter and thinner claws that aren't as flexible. Even though they're still pretty strong and sharp, they just don't match up to the tiger's claws. Number 7. Stamina. Stamina is also an important factor to think about when trying to figure out who would win this fight. After all, fighting can take a lot of energy, and if one of them runs out before the other, then that could mean the difference between winning and losing. Now, even though tigers are usually a little faster, lions make up for this with their stamina. They're able to keep up their strength for much longer than tigers can, which means that no matter what the tiger throws at the lion, it'll be able to keep fighting back. With that said, this doesn't mean that the tiger will get tired and completely fall apart. Tigers are known for their bursts of speed and power, which means that even if they get tired, they can always rely on one last-ditch effort to take down the lion. Number 6. Speed. Speaking of speed, let's talk about it in more detail. Who is the faster animal? Well, it turns out that the tiger is definitely the faster animal. When running, they can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour. Lions, on the other hand, are much slower and can only run at speeds of around 35 miles per hour. Even though this may not seem like that big of a difference, remember that these animals are predators that rely on their speed to catch their prey. So a few miles per hour can make all the difference. Now, it's worth noting that neither of these animals are sprinters, so they'll probably get tired after running for long periods of time. However, even if that happens, the tiger still has the advantage when it comes to speed. Number 5. Agility. Another thing that the tiger has over the lion is agility. That's because even though the lion is bigger, the tiger is much more nimble and quick on its feet. This means that when the lion tries to attack the tiger can easily dodge the attack and then counter-attack. On the other hand, the lion isn't as quick, which makes it easier for the tiger to hit it. Number 4. Lifespan. Now you might be wondering why we're talking about lifespan. After all, it doesn't seem like it would have anything to do with who would win a fight. Well, here's the thing. A longer lifespan usually means that an animal has had more time to grow and develop, which means that it's stronger and smarter than animals with shorter lifespans. Now, on average, lions live for around 10 to 14 years in the wild, while tigers can live for up to 26 years. This means that tigers have almost twice the amount of time to grow and become stronger. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the tiger will be twice as strong, but it does mean that the tiger has had more time to learn how to fight and defend itself. 3. Aggression. Alright, now let's talk about aggression. Which one of these animals is more aggressive? Well, it turns out that both of these animals can be extremely aggressive when threatened. However, lions are generally considered to be more aggressive than tigers. That's because lions are more likely to attack humans than tigers are, and they're also more likely to fight other animals. This doesn't mean that tigers aren't aggressive though. In fact, they're known for being extremely aggressive when defending their territory. Either way, when these two animals fight, the lion's aggression will definitely put it ahead. Number 2. Hunting style. Alright, now let's talk about their hunting styles. How do they hunt? What do they focus on when attacking their prey? Well, this is another area where the lion has the advantage. You see, lions are more likely to go after large groups of prey, while tigers are more likely to go after lone animals. This means that lions are used to taking on multiple opponents at once, while tigers are more used to taking on one opponent at a time. Now, this doesn't mean that tigers can't take on a group of animals, or that lions can't take on one animal. It just means that they're more used to fighting certain ways. This experience will definitely come in handy during the fight. Number 1. Habitat. Last but not least, let's talk about their habitats. Where do they live? Why? Well, because the animal that's more used to living in a certain environment usually has the advantage in that environment. For example, if the fight took place in the water, then the shark would definitely win. However, since we're not fighting in the water, this doesn't really matter. Instead, the fact that lions live in groups will be more important. You see, even though tigers are solitary animals, lions live in groups called prides. These prides can consist of up to 30 lions. Now, this doesn't mean that the tiger won't be able to hold its own in a fight. It just means that the lion will have a lot of experience fighting with multiple opponents at once. And not only that, but lions also work together when hunting, which means that they've developed communication skills that tigers don't have. So who's the winner? Now that we've considered all of these factors, it's time to choose a winner, and the winner is the lion. Overall, the lion has the advantage in several categories, including size, bite force, stamina, aggression, hunting style, and habitat. Now, this doesn't mean that the tiger doesn't have its strengths. It's just that the lion has more strengths than the tiger does. So if these two animals were to fight, the lion would most likely win. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more videos like this one.